My name is Carla Pridgen, and I'm a community organizer and director of community engagement for Down East Coalish Environmental and Social Justice Coalition, and I live in Goldsboro, Wayne County area of North Carolina. Growing up, I grew up about 10 minutes from here in a small community called Jason community. It's on Highway 903 between LaGrange and Snow Hill. Both of my grandparents on both sides, the maternal and paternal grandparents, were farmers. There was a CAFO that was less than a quarter of a mile from my house. It was not very far. That, of course, in the summertime, the stench of the hog manure was just a commonplace. You know, we lived in the country, and so we were thinking back then that that's just one of the things that the country have is the stench of the hog manure from the CAFOs, not knowing at that time that it was harmful. So when I was diagnosed with breast cancer in 2015, Duke wanted to do a test to see if it was genetics that I got cancer, because I had breast cancer. My oldest sister had breast cancer. My middle sister had another type of cancer dealing with her throat. My father passed away of cancer, and both of my grandfathers passed away of cancer, and my maternal grandmother died of cancer. So with all of that cancer in the family, you know, I would have thought, okay, it's hereditary, but it wasn't. And now I look back, the farms and, you know, the chemicals that they sprayed with, of course, African Americans back then just did what they were taught. If they were given chemicals to spray, this is what they knew to do, to spray, but not knowing that it was seeping into the soil. The vegetables were taking it in. We were eating the vegetables, going to the pond that was there, and, you know, there was probably runoff. It was big news. And so me and my sisters, you know, the ones who are left, and we talked to other family members and friends and anybody who will listen, in changing our eating habits, where we get our food from, and to know how many CAFOs we have in this area. To know whenever the big companies are coming in, what is that going to mean for not only our community where they share the pros, but what are the cons for the BIPOC community members? How they can take action, little or small. You can do make one little small effort that can create a big change. That's why we try to educate the community on connecting the dots. Exactly what does these harmful pollutants mean to us as a whole, as humans, especially with the Black community, because the big polluters, the big companies, move their factories and build their factories into the Black neighborhoods, into the areas that are predominantly Black and brown people. So we're always getting the brunt of the pollutants, where it's the air pollution, where it's the water pollution. But we have to get people where they're more engaged. But it's difficult whenever you're working with the no income to low income people, because their priorities is food on the table, having our lights on, and a roof over our head. To be human, that needs to activate everybody, but it activated me more so because I had activists in my family, not as far environmental, but more social justice. So just feeling in my mind, it's the right thing to do. More than ever, the phrase profit over people has become our American norm. Nothing seems to be more important than the almighty dollar and the love of it. And that's what we're suffering from.